Commissioner Brody? Commissioner Ashton?
Here.
Here. Everybody else ain't here. Public comment. Keep it to yourself.
What's really being paid, Dan?
Administration Finance, Commissioner Ashton, budget review.
Yes.
This is the first review, correct?
Yeah.
First run through?
Right, so what we're going to do is really kind of combine these, the first two things, the budget review and the capital plan review, and just give you the paperwork here so you can kind of review it and everything prior to what we would like to do is hold a budget workshop on Saturday, February 20th. In the morning, it's a Saturday, so from like say, start at 9 o'clock, go through however long it takes us. We will give every commissioner an opportunity to go line by line through the budget, ask any questions that they feel they would like to have answered. We have the department heads on here. It'd be 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. We could flex it a little bit. We thought 9 would be a good start to the year. Yes, we'll make sure that we have, some something to get coffee, exactly. Yes, and kind of the plan that we are looking at is that department heads would make a little presentation about just their fund areas, what kind of the challenges that they've experienced in the last fiscal year, how that may affect everything going into the next fiscal year, what kind of expectations they're doing, that kind of stuff. Probably pull out some of the highlights, lowlights, kind of thing, address them. You can ask any questions that you may want on there, and kind of leave it that. It would be a public meeting. The public would be obviously invited. They could hear us watch and make any comments, I guess, prior to if they wanted to as well. So if that is acceptable to you, February 20th. Would that be fine?
I gotta check my schedule.
Sure.
But, yeah, if I'm open, I thought, we're gonna do this week for a bit of.
Yeah, no, this would give us enough time to develop the narrative that we want to be able to present to the board, as well as give you time to look at the two documents, formulate any questions that you may have prior to that.
Two documents being the budget and the
Capital plan. Yeah, they do really go hand in hand.
Yeah.
so.
I had a chance to look this up.
Okay. Right. And if we wanted to, we can set aside any additional times that you guys may want to, but we really want to make sure that the public has an opportunity to kind of view this. It is really something very transparent. A lot of other districts do this as well, so it's just, again, transparent as well as doing the best practice.
That's good to me.
Me too.
Okay. All right.
I have two items on administration and finance, budget and capital plan. Do you have anything additional? You said they go together. Do you have anything additional on capital? Okay.
No, but if you have any questions about either document that you feel that you need to ask right away, Marty and myself are available anytime. You can
Well, Marty gave me the solution, and I asked the question earlier.
Okay.
The $160,000 loss in the pool.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. That could happen. Right. Okay.
Solves your problem,
So
right?
yeah, so it really isn't anything to. I mean, really isn't anything. However, Marty is ready to. If you want him to give a quick synopsis of both, he's able to do that. It's really kind of up to what you guys feel that you need at this point.
Marty, did we have any problems in the last couple of years on the tax warrants? They didn't come through on time?
Yes.
Because the bills came out already.
They're like clockwork.
Oh,
The
I got that.
last 4 years, 3 years. Probably 2012 was the last year it was delayed up into December, and then every year it's been March and August.
What percentage do you think that we dribble in at the rest of your people that don't pay them?
We're going to get probably not. We usually hit around 97% of our levy. So the rate of loss is probably going to be slightly under 3%, maybe 2.7.
We don't have a large number outstanding, do we?
No, we probably have, we're, like, the 2014 levy, we collected about 97%. Maybe it's,
So when do we get to 3%?
I'm sorry?
When do we get the rest of it?
You know, you may never get it. You have tax objectioners, you have, not so much tax objectioners, you've got people who take their property and appeal, property tax appeals, refunds from prior property tax appeals from many, many years
Yeah,
ago.
but that's a year back. Just the people that don't pay them is what we're looking for.
Well,
They put a lien on the property to collect them when someone buys that property.
that's true, but historically, it's been between 97 and 98%.
Can't ask for too much more than that.
No, well, if I remember right, we used to have to fill out paperwork to reclaim that back stuff. But if somebody doesn't pay their taxes on
Right.
their house.
Yes.
The county puts a lien on it,
Right.
eventually takes the property, sells it
Right.
at public auction, and the public auction's got to pay off the taxes first.
Correct.
Then we would get our money.
Right.
But if I may be wrong, but I thought we filled out special paperwork with the county to rekindle that money. claim it.
No, for the most part,
Because it may be 5 or 10 years
You're
back.
right, and that's what we'll get. We'll get payments from the county that'll involve tax years back into the 90s and
Okay.
2000.
So we're still getting it.
Yes, it's all lumped together. It's all the collections come in, and right now, you get a lot of negative collections from old years, and hopefully you get them all set with the new year, so we get positive money out of it.
We don't have any outstanding people owe us.
Property tax wise?
No, just in general. Fees,
Uh,
charges,
Not,
nothing
No,
substantial.
Nothing
nothing that you
unusual.
aren't familiar with.
Yeah, nothing unusual.
Other than the
Right.
schools or.
Yeah. No. Well, anything else? Okay, sorry, I should have said at the beginning of the meeting that due to a work conflict, Mark is not here tonight, and due to a family emergency, Eileen will not be here. So,
Do we even have anything under parks and facility payments?
well, we Thorgard.
Oh, okay.
So Thorgard, as you know, we brought that to the board last month, and the board decided to table that discussion for 30 days. We'll bring it back up in 30 days and continue the conversation about bringing the Thorgard system to so we did take the opportunity that we could to look to other agencies for possibilities of helping with funding, as well as ask them about available grant monies. We did talk with the fire department as well as the village administrator. And they're unaware of any grant monies that are available. We've got the IPRA, NRPA, Thorgard, if there are any.
There was a vendor at the convention, and I asked him. Nothing out there recently.
I did reach out to one of the schools for that for them, but just the way that the schools are right now, I don't know if they're going to provide any assistance with that. As you know, when we talk about our affiliate groups, they don't cover our costs, so to ask them to kind of pitch in for that as well. It's going to be kind of a stretch, but we did mention that to them. So we have 3 options available for the board to do. We can go, and they're listed here in the packet. And the first option really is a full implementation of the system. That would be the $71,000 for that. The second option is $51,295, which would cover our highly programmed areas or parks. So that would be the pools, Ren, Keto, Oriole, Austin, Mansfield, Prairie View National Park, Palm Lane. The other option would be just to do it at, we have to have the base station. There's no other way around the base station, because based on the analysis that Thorgard provided, that the two parks are HAR and National, and that those two base stations would be able to go to Prairie View and Oriole, so we at least have that covered. That's not to say that the other parks aren't covered, it's just that there is no audible or visual notification that they need to seek shelter. Is it possible that they could hear the horns from, this? It's possible. I don't know if it's like it's not as loud as the Tuesday morning sirens, but it is fairly loud. This also gives us the ability. It can be expanded. We can start out with a very a small amount and then add as we go. That's really kind of up to the board. I mean, our
Okay.
suggestion is.
So you got a computer system here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Okay, so that information comes to here, right? So everybody inside this building say, your computer not in flash,
Computer or smartphone, different up to,
Okay.
any form of technology.
And what would it cost us additional if we offered that service to the village and the school district?
What's the cost of the app, or is that comes?
The app is essentially whoever we want to hook up to it, that we can as many users as we want.
It's free, no additional cost.
No additional cost, not
Right.
free, but it's no additional cost
Right.
after
Right.
this.
Well, I would find it hard pressed for us to go ahead at any of these levels and not include them in as a community service.
Sure.
I think it would be the right thing to do to include in them and possibly even think about children's right beginnings there. I'm talking about that. Sure. They've got probably 20 kids in there all summer long, 30 kids. Those services, I think it's just a nice thing that we can do if we go. If it doesn't cost us.
The only thing I want to make clear to the board is when you access the computer, I'm not 100% sure of the ability to change features on the system. If there may be some aspects to it, administrative aspects that we may want to keep in-house.
Well, that's fine. Whatever we do, as long as we have an understanding what we control and what we would offer, The last thing I would want, we spent, say, $71,000 at Carr Park, and some kids running around behind Parkview School, and something happened. Because we didn't offer.
Right. Right. I can see that this, being able to have the app is a great thing, but it does require you to have your phone. It does require you to have it so that you're getting notifications. You can't have it on vibrate. You can't.
Right.
You
Well, I
gotta set
understand.
all the
What I'm
buttons.
saying is, we're gonna give you first, and it's up to you to pull it off the wall.
True, but, we're having, I'm not sure around here, but I'm sure that, every 7, 8, 9-year-old kid doesn't have.
No, but I'm talking about, if the school knows it,
Right, right,
all the kids.
right. But then again, if they had the horn as well,
Right.
they would be able to, they would benefit that from it as well. If we were looking at this for a complete community service, I would recommend that you would go with full implementation. So, yeah. Because then you have the horns, you have the lights, you still have the use of the apps. It's just that, and you rely on one versus the other. I think that I'm recommending that the board pick one. Yeah, I think as a best practice, as a community service, I would go with the full implementation. Or
Well, Marty, this may be the only luxury item we buy.
It's not much of a luxury.
Right. Dan?
The way I'm looking at it, there's 4 options, 3 of which the board recommends. And the 4th option, which you're not recommending,
Yes.
is none of the above. I'm still, I wouldn't say I'm 100% sold. I mean, if that's our decision, I'll go with it. I'm not sure how this is a necessity, that something we actually need to do. I'm not saying it's not, but I just don't understand how it is. You could have a 9 or 10-year-old kid who doesn't have a phone, doesn't check
If
the
he's in
weather.
our park, and he's in our programs, they will have fair warning that the conditions are right to get them off.
Right, and I'm not even sure how much we need this to notify people of lightning, because there are public services that monitor the weather and send out weather reports. We're talking about putting ThorGuard in and giving people apps to connect with our ThorGuard, right? But I have to think that there's other devices that monitor lightning in the area, in the state of Illinois, different
Right.
municipalities that we do have access to and we can monitor. I mean, for $70,000, there's probably a lot of people. We could hire a person to monitor the weather, to drive around the parks, to make sure nobody can. I'm just saying, that's
I
what
think
we're
it's
talking.
a little more sophisticated.
Right, let
Maybe
me-
so, but that's the amount of money we're talking about.
Right,
That a person could work full time, just
1 year, but, no, but I guess the difference here is this is a prediction system. I mean, to look in the sky, see lightning, in some aspects it might be too late. This gives, my experience has been, it gives several minutes of advance notification before something comes in. And that has been, at least for me, it's been invaluable because we get out of the park, we're in the car when weather usually hits. So that's what we're looking for. I mean, there's a lot of other systems out there that are detection systems. When the lightning strikes, it sees it and then it gives out a notification. And this is the only one because it is because of the analyticals that are involved in the program that nobody else has kind of figured out that ThorGuard has, that no one can duplicate. So unfortunately, it is a standalone sole provider of this type of system.
I understand that, and I wouldn't say I'm set on any conclusion, but
Run the bubble.
I'm hearing one side of the whole decision, and I just want to kind of present some of my thoughts on the flip side that I'm also bouncing around on the other side of the bubble. And one is, will this? I don't know for certain that somebody's going to get struck by lightning. It's going to make a difference. That it's going to make a difference whether or not anybody gets injured by lightning. I mean, first of all, the odds that somebody will are just so low. And is this even going to make a difference at all in those odds in the grand scheme of things? If there's even, if somebody were to ask me, well, even if there's a 1,000% chance that somebody's going to get struck by lightning, wouldn't you do something to stop that? I mean, we can't bubble wrap the whole park district. I mean, how much should that cost to buy, truckloads of
Why does the
things?
catcher wear a face mask? If the chances of him not catching that ball are 600,000 to 1.
I'd say your odds of getting hit in the head by a ball are it happens.
Right, I mean, we do-
It happens dozens of times a year.
Right, we do
And
offer.
It's a guarantee that it will happen, actually, which is why people started putting on face masks. Getting better without it.
We do have a lot of baseball out there. All of our bleachers are metal. The fencing around the
I
fields
understand.
are metal.
I'm just saying this is 2016, and somehow humanity survived, hundreds of years playing Little League Baseball with, well, they've been playing baseball for hundreds of years. Metal bats are maybe a little bit newer. But my point being that the park system has worked for a long time without ThorGuard. And injuries by lightning before ThorGuard were pretty rare. And I would be
Not on the
interested
golf course.
in I would be interested in knowing, you know, how much difference DoorGuard actually makes. Because there are protocols we follow right now without DoorGuard. I mean, what are those?
When we see lightning, we evacuate. We evacuate.
Do we maintain connections with any kind of weather reporting
At this point,
service?
I think the only thing that we have weather radios, which
Okay.
warns you of potential,
Right.
but doesn't.
So what do you do
kind of
when
a
you hear
generic
one?
area.
What do you, I'm sorry to interrupt,
No
but
worries.
I really want to know what do you do when you hear a report of potential lightning?
We watch the sky.
But you don't call anything up?
Because it's weather. And, you know, it could happen, it could not happen. We never know. So only when do we hear thunder, see lightning, and then we suspend. Wait 30 minutes. If we hear it anytime in between that, we reset the 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we don't hear anything, then we can come back out.
Do you have a brochure on this information?
Lots of
I think maybe, do you realize, from my understanding, what this system does? This system analyzes the ground. the
Yeah, it looks for
atmosphere.
electricity.
It analyzes a lot of information for the area that you're in. When you're getting your national broadcast weather come through, it's a general sense of the Doppler radar. It's not pinpointing it to exactly your area. Maybe, why does lightning strike here
No, but there are
and not over
times,
there?
there are times a thing goes off and there's no lightning.
That
It
is,
just tells you if there's the conditions.
It's just because some kid wanted to have a cigarette
All
on.
right.
well, I mean, it's never been, well, that's, you know, I think that's, can I say that it's ever gone off, that it didn't have lightning? No, I can't say that, because I've seen it. It's gone off, you get the all clear 5 minutes later, and 2 minutes later it goes off, because the atmosphere, the conditions are swirling around, that it makes it very difficult for not only staff to kind of make that decision, but even the electronics involved in it. For us at the pools, it's very difficult for us to keep an eye on a screen. Like, you know, if I put up the Doppler radar, if I go to NOAA, I put in my zip code, and I'm looking at that screen, I can't maintain that. We've got to worry about staff. We have to worry about the public. This takes that, that out of our hands and gives us advance notification if something were to happen.
No, I can see it at the pools.
Right.
I can see it.
But that goes for like if we have camps over at one of the parks, or if we have our affiliates over at Ren, or at Mansfield, or Austin, or wherever that may, or even here,
Okay.
to be able to.
Shift from Little League to the pool. What do we do in the pool? Let's say, in the morning, there's a radio report about potential thunderstorms until, 5 or 6 o'clock. The sky looks okay, and it's pool day. Do you open the pool?
Yeah, we yeah,
And how do you manage the situation?
we will watch the sky.
Just watch the sky.
That's all we can do.
wireless weather radios.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right.
And otherwise, everybody's just swimming.
And we're taking our eyes off the water to look at the sky every once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yet, DoorGuard and the thing went off. You just say, hey,
It takes the guesswork. It takes the guesswork off the staff. They don't have to worry about watching the sky because they know that the DoorGuard is going to predict if the conditions are right, not just if they're exactly right.
I'm just gonna say this. In my home, I chose to put a generator in my house. The reason I did that was, not because I wanted to spend $6,000-7,000, but I did it because it's the money. Same thing with this, you got a reputable company, and it's the money for the purpose, for the work of the company. That's how I look at it. So, I mean, you're going in different tangents.
No, I got what you're saying.
But the main thing is the safety of the community, of the people, of the employees.
But you know what a generator is gonna do. When your energy goes out in the house, you know how a generator works, and you know exactly what a generator is going to give you, and it's gonna give you something tangible, which is electricity. And here, the thing sounds off, there may not be lightning. I'm just saying it's not any more reliable, and I'm not convinced that it does anything more than the methods of predicting lightning that we have now. Listening to the radio, looking at the sky, being
I would
cautious.
rather be safe than sorry. Even if it goes off and there's no thing happening, at least I'm concerned that there could be.
I want to be safe too, and growing up, I learned how to be safe, around lightning, what precautions to take, what measures, what to look for,
Dan,
what to
right,
do,
well, you know
those
what,
kinds
Dan,
of
what will it
situations.
take for you to make up your mind? Would you want to come in and talk to Mike and Jeff about this further?
So you two are on board with this then?
I am more inclined to go with it than against it at this point.
I don't want to spend $70,000.
I don't want to spend
Okay,
$71,000.
so can we do two pools? And
Here's my concern. There are people out there in this world who go to school to become lawyers. And lawyers like to litigate, because that's where they make their money. If we have in the two pools, and something happens over at National Park, you had it there, why don't you have it here? You spent this, why don't you do that? My son's dead because you didn't do this.
He's right.
So you either do
I
none of
just,
it.
at the end of the day, I don't think anybody can control who gets
No,
struck by
but-
lightning, and I
Don't
don't
tell that to
think.
your guys that you went to school with.
Dan, let me just say that having this system, it's clear. There's really, the conditions are right. I'm not saying that there is going to be a strike or anything, but the conditions are right for a potential strike. Even with those horns, people are going to make their choices. And I've seen, Pee-wee baseball games continue on even after the sign. We'd have to go out and tell them to stop. You can't do it. You can't be out here. I mean, there's an educational component of that. So, people, even with that, knowing that the conditions are right, they're going to make poor choices. But at least we're giving them advance notification of something that can happen. Potentially.
Go to the LaGrange Park District. I think it was LaGrange last year that had the tent come down. And the resident got killed.
Wooddale.
Or Wooddale. Wooddale. The Wooddale Park District, their event came down. Their director ended up in a hospital with a head concussion, unconscious for how many days, and a resident died. What would 3 minutes extra time would have made a difference to those people that storm came up?
I'm curious, if you've never,
I've heard
I know
of
that you
horns.
play baseball. I know that you play baseball. I'm
Yeah, and
curious
if
you've never
there's
heard
a
that
severe
before.
warning, I've had games canceled.
And I can tell you a girl that I went to high school with died. She worked at a restaurant in Morton Grove, where Giordano's is now, walked out in the parking lot, stuck the key in her car, got struck by lightning, and died. Back
Do you
to the
think
center.
Thorgar would have prevented that? Maybe somebody hears the thing go off, they say, oh,
I'm
it's
just
lightning,
saying-
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
get out
saying
of the
so
park,
early
I'm
on
gonna
in
go
the
to
head.
my car and I'll drive home.
I mean-
There's nothing here that really makes me believe
Okay.
that there's a high probability that buying this thing will mean less people will be injured.
Okay, I'm not arguing with it. It's your prerogative. But we're down to the commissioners, and, I'd hate to say move forward with this without having consensus. I don't think 3 is a consensus, or strong enough consensus to move forward on. If you need more information,
I guess, I'm wondering if there's more than 4 options. These 3 and none of the above, and that's why I asked 2 pools.
well,
Um,
I'm
Well, I
afraid
mean,
that once you say you're
the
gonna
problem,
do it, you don't do
the
it all
problem
the
is,
way.
we have to have the base stations at Prairie View, Prairie View and Nashua.
Why can't we have it at 1 pool and then just go off whatever that meter says? So be on the line, somebody if the thing at Howard goes off, they get on the phone and call people at Oriole and say everything's going on. Clear the pool.
Because I think, my understanding, they're measuring the condition in that adjacent area.
It's a certain mile radius for
Right.
each station. For the best accuracy. And
Right.
Beauregard will only install and that measurement that they came out and gave us.
If we were right next to Evanston Country Club, I'd say we don't need it, we could just hear theirs. But,
Right.
You know,
True.
because there isn't a major country club in the country that doesn't have this system.
Stadiums have them.
I
I know what you're saying about people complaining, and we have a responsibility to people, but we also have a fiscal responsibility. I mean,
You're
we
right.
spend a lot of money.
So let's get
every
rid of the
time I-
computers and go back to paper and pencil. We can save
Wait,
a lot of money.
that's a great example. When we do all these iPads, I see something in the budget going
Right.
up, a line item every year going up for iPads, this and that. Are we making more money because we're communicating with iPads than we were when we were doing pencil and paper? I just see us spending money on this and that and this and that. We're not bringing in more money for spending more, is what I'm saying.
And didn't I see you on CNN the other night with the debates?
Gosh. All right. I think that's enough.
Okay.
I agree with you 100%, Bud. I agree with you 100%. And nobody wants to make sure that we're financially sound as we possibly can be. But you know, in the back of my mind, caution, safety is paramount to it, because without it, one thing happens. And I don't want that responsibility on my plate.
But when we rely too much on technology, we can't take care of ourselves either. So it's like you're watching the store guard, you're not even
technology
watching the
kept-
sky or
if
using
it weren't
common
for
sense.
technology, you still have a turn and you may be dead. So, you know, I mean, we're victims of technology. You're right.
You know?
I know.
So,
Well, we got some time on this because we still need a consensus before we can.
Right.
But it was good debate. I liked it. I think maybe, yeah.
I don't know,
Is that a little Ted Cruz
you know
down
what?
there? You think?
I'm not doing lawyer debate. I'm more like guy at the electronics store.
Yeah.
You know, trying to, I don't know, ask questions about a product, I guess.
Well, okay. I would ask that we could have a 5-minute executive session.
What, so we were,
So you want us to read it?
Well, I'll just say, make a motion.
Under section.
I make a motion for the board then to go into closed session in accordance with the Open Meeting Act, section 120/2, dot C1, and for section 120/2, dot C11. Do I have a second?
Yeah. I saw.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You're more fun than a barrel full of Dominic.